Welcome to Western Ultimate League. I am here in beautiful Tempe, Arizona. I'm Michael Simeone here with Mark Borger.
Hey, everybody.
Here we are at Bruce Harper Stadium for the first game of the Arizona Sidewinders Western Ultimate League season for 2026.
And coincidentally, the first game before Utah at the start of the new season.
Homestand for the Sidewinders as their first game. It is 85 degrees this evening in Tempe, Arizona. We are in a extreme heat advisory. It is unseasonably hot even for Arizona. I feel like we were having the same conversation a year ago.
Didn't hit it tonight. The sun's going down. It's cooling off, but not on the field.
Mark, both teams last year had seasons that we could say left a lot to be desired. Arizona winless, Utah a single win. Talk to us just a little bit as we set the table for the game about what each team is going to be looking for outside of course, coming away with a win.
Yeah. Seasons. It's exciting. Each team kind of takes their own route to the start of the next season. It looks like Utah, for their part, 18 rookies. Most of the team new to the team. Some travel players, others just fresh in college still, just out of college, and they're looking to make a big splash. Where are they going to get the production from? Can they run some kind of complicated or simple systems effectively? And is it going to work out execution-wise? On the other side of things, Arizona, 4 rookies on their team. We said, let's run it back, and maybe chemistry was what we need. So we'll see how that shakes out as well.
Interesting to see what the Wild are going to bring to the table here. I think in the past, what we've expected from the Utah Wild has been really aggressive play downfield from explosive away passes and a lot of athletic work kind of in the mid to distant ranges, really trying to get that separation and really beat teams with speed.
Yeah, you see, from last season for Arizona was the overall conditioning or athleticism, but I mean, who wasn't getting blown up by Afterglow in the middle of the season? But we'll see if kind of the training and everything, if everybody just came to day one of the season, game one, ready to play. They certainly have the throws. They've got the skills. Arizona mentioned this. They do have a new head coach, a new assistant coach. So maybe it's just a change of kind of perspective there too.
Yeah, that's right. New head coach Daphne Russell, and assistant coaching staff is Joel Prussian, Travis Dunn, and Charlie Hops. And let's talk for a little bit, Mark, about as the teams are introduced to the home crowd, let's talk a little bit about the home team. Who are some players that we should keep our eye on as we take in the home opener for Arizona Sidewinders?
Well, I certainly have you right here on the pages in front of me, but I think the biggest person to watch is if she does play or doesn't. If she's playing at 100%, is the logo Cody Lippincott. She's coming back from a pretty prolonged injury. was talking to the PT earlier in the game, but she's warming up now. After her, you've got Kristen Reed, who maybe it's just a little bit of that high altitude experience coming down into the valley, kind of teaching these Sidewinders and showing them the way. Maybe that's just enough of a winning ways to get them started. She destroyed the stats in terms of offensive production.
Let's talk for a minute about Brittany Stetmeyer, 57 for the Sidewinders. She was new to the team last year and got Breakout Player of the Year for 2025. What's she bring to the team that is so important tonight?
Yeah, I think one of the ways that the Sidewinders were well known the first couple of years were the deep ball. It was the long shots. It was the hucks. And she took to that immediately. She said, I'm going to find this space and I'm going to take it. I'm going to beat my matchup deep and I'm going to score points. And we'll see if she can do that tonight.
And let's talk for a second about number 99 on the Sidewinders. Let's talk about Maya Melner. She is the youngest player on the team. She is new to the Western Ultimate League. She is making her rookie debut in the league, and she has a sister who also plays for the Utah Wild, who is her triplet.
Okay. I'm here with two of the Melner triplets, Maya and Taylor. Now, not only are you guys competing against each other today, but you're also making your rookie debuts. What are the emotions before your first game, and what does it mean to be able to share this moment?
I'm definitely pretty nervous, but in a good way. I mean, either way, whatever happens today, I'm just excited to play against my sister. Yeah. Also really nervous, also excited. I'm glad we're together to experience our first pro games together. I think that's really important and special.
Now, who is the most competitive of you two? Who are we going to be hearing the most trash talk from?
Trash talk, Taylor, probably, but I'm the most competitive, I would say. Yeah, well, we're both pretty competitive, but she's the youngest by a minute, so I think a little more her. But I'll definitely be trash talking.
Now, you're both obviously very familiar with each other's game, so what's going to be the key to stopping one another?
Well, we made an agreement that we're not going to guard each other because that would not end well. But I think we're both on D-line. Yeah. So I just told her, make her throw the disc because she cannot handle. I say make Taylor go under because she can only catch deep. So
thank you guys so much. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Joining you back in the stadium here, Mark, let's talk a little bit about the visiting team in the Utah Wild. What are some players to watch on their side?
Yeah. However, some of the returners, we have number 12 and Kari Shelke. He's playing on the D-line and a lockdown handler defender. It'll be interesting to see if Arizona can kind of create space in the backfield and if they can, consistently find resets. After that, we've got Eva Hayes-Bell, and she's back for the second year of the Utah Wild as well. In her rookie season, she emerged as an offensive leader with 8 goals and 5 assists. Let's see if she expands her game. With the rookies they have, maybe she's taking on an even bigger role.
Yeah, and another player I think we can highlight that's another interesting wrinkle to this matchup is Saya Noya, who lives in Tempe, Arizona, but plays for the Utah Wild.
State University's women's Frisbee team. So we'll see if there's a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, harder, and obviously we'll highlight if she scores.
She'll certainly be used to the weather and the conditions, just as if she lives here, because she does. The Utah Wild are joined by Coach Taylor Williams as the head coach, Mally Miller and Zachary Nebeker as the 2 assistants.
Number 20, Hannah Heaton. Number 21, Caroline O'Connell. Number 22, Lindsay Doyle. Number 23, Sunny Harris. Number 26, Lauren Hassani. Number 27, Janet Wan. Number 40, Chip Chang. 2026 captain, number 42, Kez Gazelle. And 2026 co-captain, number 51, Kay Powell. Number 56, Alex Goldstein. Number 57, breakout player, Brittany Stettmeyer. Number 77, Cynthia Thomas. And rounding out the roster, number 99, Maya Melner. Your Sidewinders are coached by head coach Daphne Russell, assistant coaches Joel Prussian, Travis Dunn, and Charlie Hoppes. Let's give a big round of applause for your Arizona Sidewinders. We'd now like to welcome our very own Liv Chandler to sing the national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran by, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Just a few minutes before opening roll,
We mentioned
the Utah side is going to have a lot of rookie players that are new to the WUL, and new to the team. You've got a team of 18 rookies. What's your approach look like? You're on the road, you need a win. What kind of strategies do you go to when you're a team in that situation?
Sometimes what you see with a lot of these untested teams is in the beginning of games, they're going to play carefree. They're not going to worry about anything. You'll see catches where you might have expected a throwaway. You'll see Ds come out of nowhere. The big difference, and I kind of think the benchmark to see where they're at for the season, is these teams that don't have very big expectations, that play loose. Once they get that little bit of fire, do they tighten up or do they stay loose? Do they keep making those exciting plays? So if we keep seeing exciting plays through each quarter, then I think it's going to be an explosive season for the Wild. If we see them kind of tighten up, then they're going to have a little bit of work to do before the next game.
Yeah, it very much seems like a team filled with kind of veteran and knowledgeable, experienced players looking to get something to click versus a team of really new, younger players trying to catch lightning in a bottle. We'll see how much that theory plays out.
And excellent investment into youth ultimate frisbee. The YCC system, the high school and up system, there's a lot of money and support being put into it over the last decade or so. And you can tell if just this amount of players they feel confident in, it's got to be for a reason, right? So I expect fireworks from both sides of the field.
And certainly we can come off our narrative anytime we see something that doesn't look right. Chris Collinsworth isn't in this.
No vamping for us tonight.
Both teams take to the sideline as we prepare for the opening pull. Conditions look like they're going to cool off as the game goes on. Even though there is no wind, the flags are dead still here in Bruce Harper Stadium in Tempe. We know that the temperature is very hot, and this is a turf field. So I think by the end of the first quarter, we may have slightly different conditions. But as the game starts tonight, streaming the game, watching it after the fact, we need to know that it is hot. It's a hot night here in Arizona.
Yeah, we have absolutely zero wind before the game. I'm looking out at the flags, and it looks like we have a little bit, and it being a stadium, it's probably going to be a little swirly. So which team, Arizona's veteran throwers or kind of Utah's youth is really going to kind of fight through that variable conditions?
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on the conditions because it seems like they're changing. Even 5 minutes ago, we looked out, there's no movement. But right now, these flags trying to gauge the time. So we'll see just what kind of conditions and pressure they have on the field now and see how that's affecting the game. Utah, I think, would love a game where we get a little bit
Fans, let's make some noise as your Sidewinders take the field to start the 2026 season.
Arizona to receive. Starting on offense in the first quarter. This is the inaugural game for the Arizona Sidewinders season. It's a home game. Utah Wild also kicking off their season. They're going to start on defense. Wonderful pull. Hitting Arizona deep, but they're going to move it immediately. Arizona looking to the sideline. Swinging the disc well. O'Connell's going to send it downfield. Arizona on the break side now, centering it back. This is Powell. Nice open strike to Dunn. Arizona looking quite relaxed now. Gazelle to the end zone, overthrown.
There's that execution that we were talking about. All of the movement, all the throws looked good. Certainly they were open on their cuts, and now it's just going to be, can they get the disc back and convert?
Here's Utah on their own goal line. Defense solid by Arizona. Stoppage of play.
Yeah, I'm looking for some hand signals, if I could, please. Maybe we'll echo the call. No stall.
Utah looking to get it off the sideline. Anything will do. They've got it. That's an inside-out shot. Now centered. Utah back in business. Disc is dropped. Arizona looking to crowd the lane. Did just enough to get the disc back. And a bucket.
There we go. Alex Goldstein to one of the captains, Kaz Gazelle. They definitely are ready to take advantage of the turns. That was Utah's defense on offense. They moved it a little bit. They were able to look, Utah was able to look towards their dump, but unfortunately a little bit of execution errors on both sides. We'll see which team cleans it up first.
Arizona really looked like they wanted the disc back after that turn.
Yeah, and one of the things that we'll see kind of the next time Arizona has the disc is if it looks like they're not pressured on their throws, Utah's defense is maybe a step or two with separation, enough for some of these faster throws to get through. then that might be a little bit of the youth showing. Now, if Utah's O-line here takes care of business, then, well, we've got a game on our hands, Michael.
All right. Clinical offense by Arizona on that last sequence. After they got it back, Arizona, good pull. We're going to find the Wild deep in their territory. Arizona fronting on defense, stopping that downfield shot as quickly as possible. Stetmeyer on the mark. Great grab. Utah able to keep it in. Now sending it wide, trying to stretch Arizona left to right. High slicing shot. Will he come down with it? It's going to get knocked down. It's a great stop by Arizona. It's Chang. Going to send it wide. Inside out shot. It's going to get intercepted. That's a block for Utah. Utah back on offense. This is an offensive point for Utah. Trying to hold. Stolen, sensational block. Kristen Reed. What a stop.
Yeah, both blocks there, but you could tell a little bit of the chemistry from being new to the team. Let's see if they can convert.
Sidewinders in break opportunity. This is when. Back to Aragon. Try to make some space. Chang's going to swing it. It's brought down by Pisani.
And there we go. This might be a sign of things to come, or just a little bit of first point jitters. You can tell with Kristen Reed, she is ready to play. Already notching 2 blocks on a single point, but when she had the disc, was looking for kind of a different option. Maybe a little flashes of that from last season. And here we'll see the score. Looking back to the dump a little bit, and all the way through, an easy catch and score.
Yeah, great work by Chip Chang on the dump action there. Momentarily thought she was LP Aragon.
A little bit of that.
But yeah, great motion in small space, and then switching fields at the last minute never hurt anybody. Arizona back on defense. Arizona applying significant defensive pressure every single time they've had an opportunity. And this Utah team looks like they're searching for a little bit of composure right now.
Yeah, we'll see how they go on this next offensive point.
That's a stop. Cody Lippincott able to run through and get the block. And now Arizona's back on offense.
No question there. She came ready to play.
Swinging to Dunn. Dunn's going to test the defense and send it deep. It's going to be a goal. That's 99. That's the rookie. That's Maya.
Hopefully she didn't score on her sister there, but proving right away that she is ready to play, ready to make an impact in this league.
Sidewinders showing really good defensive pressure. Every single underneath shot looks like it's contested. Able to come up with a short field and then convert. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, we're running hard. It looks like we just caught the tail end of the huck from Kay Powell to Maya. A little tight window, but kept it close. Easy to run onto, and we have the steps. And it's looking like Sidewinders are playing a little bit of an open line system. We got a couple players just playing multiple D points in a row, or players that we saw on that first offensive point. So I wonder if they're playing a little bit looser lines and kind of getting everybody some experience to see where really everybody makes an impact.
Yeah, and just a sensational run by Melner for the Sidewinders to be able to just use that end zone space on the turn. We're back on offense for Utah, and more pressure from Arizona. It's the same story in the first quarter. Let's see if Utah is able to come up with some offense, and it's going to be a deep shot right away. It was meant for... It looks like there's going to be... It looks like a foul. It looked like it was for Castique Williams. It looked like Applegate got in there, and now there has been a foul called. We'll see what the decision is. Take a look at the foul.
Yeah, she just kind of impeded that vertical space and made contact before the catch. Utah's going to retain possession here.
Utah now in the red zone. It's going to be right to the open side. Caught, goal. Utah comes away with their first point of the night.
Yeah, it looks like Eva Bell saw the throw. Did you tell if it was a lefty throw there, Michael? And couldn't quite see it. But just excellent execution. Right out, no hesitation outside of the foul. They tapped that disc in and got to work. So we've got a little bit of a game on our hands.
Take another look.
Here we go with the catch. And just a nice little up line. We see the space. Open side to open side. I wonder if the foul kind of threw off the defensive pressure that we started with. Both every defensive start to each.
Somebody suggested I beatbox. I will not be doing that. Bear with us. We'll do the best we can.
You're following the action live, but we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with the mic in the stream, but we're getting back into it, and we'll get you back into the action here with a quick, efficient Sidewinder score.
That's Gazelle, captain for this year.
They're feeling themselves. Current score, 4-1. 4 good guys, 1 also a good guy. Just each team putting it all out there. We did see some immediate kind of adjustments. We're hitting the dump early here, looking for the second around, which is typically important. And the defense, if they're playing good defense, might be out of position after that second around.
Yeah, great action off the sideline, and then done with great timing, and then able to just see the short opportunity there. More left to right action from the Sidewinders. Continues to open up the field. Let's see if Utah is able to maintain any pressure now in coming back with a clean break. Utah now sending it deep, looking for a chance to open the field up. It's the second deep shot where they've been able to actually advance things, and it looks like, a diving grab, not able to get it.
Oh, let me check the flag. No current wind, so just kind of an errant throw. We're trying to push that side. Wonder if she saw the defender in the middle of the field coming over and thought she had to fit something in. Let's see. Oh, just barely, and she lays it all out on the line there.
We should mention, though, Castique Williams, that's the second time she's opened things up deep for the Wild. She looks to be dangerous in this matchup as Chang sends it downfield to a streaking Cynthia Thomas, a little overthrown, and the Utah Wild are back on offense.
Yeah, both defenses trying to find a little bit of rhythm once they get the disc, and both coming up a tiny bit short.
Wild now working it left to right. Looking to try to solve this Arizona defense, and here we are. That's a goal. Abby Davis able to find the open side. Ran unimpeded, mostly towards the back cone.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a difference already between the teams in their approaches to scoring, right? In that final third, you'll see it here with we're looking upfield, and if it's there, we're hitting it. If not, we're looking at backfield. As soon as she sees it, how quickly is she ready to throw? And then throwing. That's less than a second stall. We're ready to throw. No defenders getting there. We're already out of position. Oh, a little sassy Cody Lippincott on the line.
Arizona back on offense. Utah looking significantly more poised than the first couple of offensive sequences for them. Those lefty backhands look like they're giving all kinds of trouble. They're coming out quick. Wild with the pull. And it's a drop pull for the Sidewinders. Sonny Harris not able to hold on to it. Big opportunity for Utah. They'd like to get a break back right now. Utah. Not a lot of time left. Can they maintain possession with a dive and grab? Yes, they can. Liz Bunderson able to bring it up, but it's going to be a turn towards that front cone. Sidewinders back on offense. That's Gazelle. She's going to try to feather it downfield for Lippincott. Lippincott now is just going to flip it. Oh, and it's blocked. That was Liz Bunderson with the block. That's 2 amazing grabs by her, even in this first quarter. Player Packet says she plays Dungeons & Dragons. I'm sure she plays a wizard.
Oh, we were ready and loaded for that one. And now let's see if they can punch it in kind of with the second attempt.
Not able to make it happen. Ellie Finnegan not able to get her hands on it. Significant defensive pressure from Kay Powell on the Arizona Sidewinders. This is Powell trying to get it to Gazelle, who's going to look downfield to Dunn. Sidewinders look like they're stringing together some momentum as O'Connell's going to send it downfield to Lippincott. She's got space. Great grab, 2 hands for Lippincott. It's going to be flipped. Dumped. Sidewinders looking to control the red zone now. O'Connell going to be headed to the swing space. Sidewinders patient, but the throw is off. Lucy Leary grabbing it now, sending it downfield. Leary streaking to the end zone. She's got it. Looking for an option in the end zone. Time's running out for the Wild. It's almost a stall, but they're able to keep it. And we're going to have a stoppage of play. I think there's going to be some conversation if she got the throw off in time.
Yeah, it's looking like Utah has found their footing a little bit. That's 2 kind of undercut throws, and the observer does uphold. It's 7 seconds in this league, folks, so it is a quick one.
Leary just running past the defense of Arizona. Great cut. The rest of the team didn't catch it up in time. It wasn't as fast as Arizona's defense, I should say. Gazelle back in action. Arizona is looking to hold off the resurgent Utah Wild. Is going to be overthrown for Lippincott.
Yeah, and you're looking at the kind of timing miscues right here. The cuts that aren't available or aren't getting thrown to that might be open, or the people with the disc on both sides of the disc that might be ready to throw, but the cuts aren't there. So we'll see if either team can kind of shore those up.
Wild looking to... Well, it looks like Kez Gazelle is going to grab that one to Kay Powell. Arizona back in business, and Lindsay Doyle's got the goal.
Yeah, we've got the goal. Not the cleanest of points, but still a point. Still counts as 1. You're noticing Utah really show their athleticism. And let's see right here. Simeone, I think we're going to just have a game of who can run to the disc first. That's multiple Ds by both teams. They're seeing the throw go off, and it's just about which player is going to, not want it more, but which player is going to get there first. Who can break on it first, who can kind of identify that the throw went up first. So we'll see how Utah responds here. I think absolutely has the capacity to score, whereas if Sidewinders get the turn on that right half of the field, it might be a quick score for them as well. I think this next point's going to kind of dictate not the pace, but the intensity.
This is Chang pulling downfield. Sidewinders looking to cover on the right side of the field as we're looking at it. And here we are again with more pressure underneath the disc. As the Sidewinders seem a little out of position on this one. Utah finding all kinds of space. Then momentum. Arizona has to recover quickly. Otherwise, Utah is just going to punch this in not very much time at all. Finally, the flow stops downfield. Chang is able to lock down the dump, but A lefty backhand. And then another sequence on this far side, but it can't quite be grabbed. Utah really had something for a minute there and caught Arizona flat-footed.
Yeah, let's see if Arizona can punch it in on the other side or if we're going to have another long point.
This is when Pisani. Arizona gathering, trying to set up their offense as they're transitioning down the field. And Utah is trying for what literally looks like a double team, trying to make things as crowded and as difficult as possible.
Yeah, it looks like Spiegel is going to the observer to clarify a call. They're talking about it. And then it looks like they're coming back in. Sidewinders are going to retain possession.
Chang scanning downfield. It's going to be an upline strike to Spiegel. Spiegel back to Chang. Chang hammer shot, and it's completed. Sidewinders still looking to have their offense set up in time with some of these explosive throws, but now it looks like they're in their end zone. Chang's going to flip it across the field. It's going to be contested 2-on-1. It's blocked.
We're looking for that same scoring throw that we threw earlier, but this time Utah was prepared for it. They saw in advance. Brittany Stetmeyer is not going to get on the stat sheet quite yet.
So Stetmeyer and Williams going up for that one. Assisted D by Eva Bell. Foul's going to be contested.
And just a reminder for everybody at home, it's the first game of the season. Whoever has possession when the time reaches 0 will retain possession until they score or until they turn it over.
Unbelievable diving grab by Utah, trying to maintain possession, and it looks like another great catch in space by Utah as they're going to try to get their dump set off, but Chang is just able to steal it away from them. Snatch the opportunity, and it's a high-flying throw, and it's caught by Stetmeyer, who won't be denied tonight, even by her own teammate.
Brito said, nope, I'm going to build on my season from last year. We're going for that Offensive Player of the Week. Let me just get up and snag this disc. I'm done with this point. Now, let's talk a little bit about what happens at the end of quarters. As we see the turn, and Chip Chang got to the disc first. Simeone, that's going to be the key to this game for both teams. And then she says, let me just put it up. Let my teammates go get it. But as we get down, 15 seconds left, the team with possession maintains possession. Teams point diff comes down. Sidewinders got into the playoffs a couple years ago with point diff and a couple other factors. Does a team late in a quarter, do they take a timeout right there? Do they maintain possession for another 15 seconds? Or if Utah, if they can handle it, they have an infinite amount of time, or until my parking goes up, in order to score this point. It's not just 15 seconds, it's until they drop it or until they score it.
Arizona back on defense. Can they close this quarter out just by denying another score by the Wild? Great defense on the handler by O'Connell. And it's caught by Dunn. Right at the buzzer. Arizona's going to have a chance to score here. As you mentioned, Mark, they have unlimited time to score so long as they do not turn it over. Lippincott and O'Connell working together, being very careful. A chance to really put this game on the front foot, and it's going to be turned over. That's the end of the quarter. Arizona 6, Utah 2. That'll take us to the break between the first and the second. Mark, what'd you see?
Yes, Simeone, a little bit of what we said before the game, but a little bit of things that we're learning as we go. Both teams are trying to kind of find their footing for the season and each other. The chemistry is there for Sidewinders with the players who have been together, but we're seeing some new additions kind of not being on the same page. We'll see if they can clean that up. Likewise, we're seeing Utah's athleticism come through, but the disc skills or execution not quite being there. They're going to be a scary team later in this game and even later in the season. So we'll see if they can kind of build on this first quarter. But I'm a little worried. Both teams left a point on the board there, whereas a better or just a more competitive team in the league, they might make sure to score that point at the end of the quarter. And that's all I've seen so far, Michael. How about you?
Well, it looks like Arizona has put so much emphasis on defense, on being physical, on being close, and I think you can really see the difference. There are the points where Arizona is close and tight to their matchup. Utah looks like they're having a really hard time getting the disc even moving at all. The few times the Utah Wild have been able to move it, they've been able to get one break off, or put the disc in an unexpected space to kind of use that intensity against them, so that if the Sidewinders are really fighting for a spot on their matchup and that break goes off, Arizona hasn't been as good about adapting to one or two throws that are surprising. We saw lefty backhands be used in the first quarter for the Wild very effectively. It didn't always result in points, but it sometimes resulted in surprises.
Yeah. For this next quarter, let's see how quickly after someone catches a throw and they kind of square up, or you see them turn on that pivot foot, are they ready to throw? And how quickly do they actually throw it? And I think that's going to be kind of the tip-off for us to see if whatever each coach or each captain or each player said kind of in between quarters, if it either got through, if it cleans things up. If we're seeing teammates throw early in the stall count, as soon as they catch it, they're turning and they're throwing. If we see teammates that are pushing downfield to actually eat up some space on these in cuts, then I think we're in for a great second quarter. If we're kind of turning left and right, if we're turning all the way around with the disc, you're looking at high stall counts, you're looking at maybe some miscues, and we might see more of the first quarter again.
Arizona back on defense. Pull looks good. It's going to come a little short. Hang time just good enough for Arizona's first defenders to make it in time. That pass is going to be broken up.
Number 19, Madison Spiegel.
Madison Spiegel's so fast, able to disrupt that play. Sidewinders on offense, Chang to swing it across the field. All the way across now to Thomas. Thomas looking for some option, while doing a good job of closing those windows. Back across, and it's a goal.
Travis Dunn and the coaching staff love that. That was picture perfect, step for step, what the Sidewinders were doing before the game. Teams all over the world play in zone or half field to warm up for games, and we're going to see the D first. Who can get to the disc first? That'll be the first of many for Madison, and we're just talking around. Willing to throw breaks and get into the disc first.
I like how Reed left the frame in that clip, clearing, and then came right back to the open side when Spiegel was ready to distribute. Made it look easy.
Oh yeah, if the defense is doing what they're supposed to, and they'll be focused on that as a young team, they'll say, I need to be in the right spot. So some of these scores might not be as easy against San Diego, who floods aside, or the Falcons who flood aside on the around. We'll see if Utah can adjust kind of on defense, but that'll have to wait because now they're on 0.
Aragon delivering the pull. Sidewinders racing down. It's terrific coverage on the very first throw by Melner. Utah to send it deep, but it's broken up. Lippincott able to block that. Looked like they were sending it to Williams again, who again found herself in a great position. And it'll be skipping off the turf. Arizona back on defense. Long shot into the end zone. Arizona caught flat-footed on that one as well.
Picking up the disc on the errant throw, number 5, J.C. Jones.
J.C. Jones looking awful fast there, Mark.
Yeah, both teams here. I don't know how defined the stream is for everybody at home, but on some of these turns. Let's watch and see kind of where the eyes are for the throwers. Are they looking past Utah, trying to throw it deep again because it worked in the first quarter and came up short? Arizona trying to work it downfield, but their handler doing kind of a different part of their reset system and clogging up the lane. So we'll see if both teams can kind of put everything together. Utah needs this break to kind of stay in it.
Utah on defense. Fifth pole hangs very nicely. All the throws going that direction tonight. All these poles have been placed pretty deeply. This is Chip Chang. Reed back to Chang. Arizona swing it very nicely. And Reed is working that open space very well. Sidewinders looking to go back across the field now. All kinds of space, but Utah has played tenacious defense on this sequence so far. Time's running out here. Can Applegate throw an inside-out high release? Yes! Finding Reed on the break side. Here's Spiegel. Back to Applegate, who's scanning, looking to make something happen. Spiegel means she doesn't have to think too hard about it. Applegate back upfield on the overlapping route, and we have another Sidewinder score.
Paige said, what all-star game. I'll show you how to score it. Goes up line. We win the foot race. Both teams, they're trying to get to that disc first. They're trying to get to that open space first. Sidewinder with the terrific patience there. Easy rounds. She said, thank you. I will take it back.
I mean, really terrific work, I think, by Reed and Spiegel in the middle of the field there. Playing catch with the handlers, getting open to those open spaces. After things got going, the handlers on the Arizona side did not have to very long before releasing it. There was always a cut available. Credit to those players running hard, made that sequence look very smooth.
And I think we've got Block Watch, Lippincott with 2 and Reed with 2. Don't stat check me here. But it looks like she's firing on all cylinders when we were kind of worried before the game.
Wild back on offense as Melner is down with immediate pressure, but they're going to send it deep. Nearly uncovered. Dangerous position now for the Sidewinders. Another open side shot. Williams trying to work her matchup in the end zone. 360 mark by Sidewinders and a high stall count. Utah will maintain possession. Getting pushed back here, the Utah Wild. Looking to make something happen up line. They've got a free runner, but the defense holds. Swinging the disc now, trying to find the break side. Inside out shot, backhand, it's caught. Terrific work by the Wild, finding that break side seam. The goal goes to Eva Bell.
Simeone, I'm not currently up to date on the most recent rules of the season, but maybe they took out timeouts, and they're going no timeouts for the league for the season. But that's just one observer. Let's see. After that awesome catch, we're looking at a round around. The marks establishing themselves, but a great low inside throw. And Lippincott was doing everything right. It was just a better throw.
McClurkin with a terrific throw there. And let's spend a second thinking about B.G. Kratzner's play on that sequence where she not only ran deep, but also kind of anchored that handler set in the red zone, making sure that the Wild maintain possession. This is a crucial point for them to make it 4-8, setting up her teammate just in time to be able to find that seam. Utah back on defense, trying to find a break. 4-point separation between Arizona and Utah, 8:46 to go in the quarter. Applegate here centered. Turnover by the Sidewinders. Applegate not able to hold on to that one. Spiegel on the mark for Arizona. Trying to stop any kind of action for Utah. There's going to be a foul call and a stoppage of play.
Yeah. It happened kind of quick, so we didn't see it. But the observer is putting the disc back pretty immediately. Looks like it was a foul on the throw. Just getting a little overzealous. Spiegel a little physical on defense.
And that looks to be the kind of defense the Sidewinders are wanting to play. It's close and physical as Applegate makes Utah work hard to get that reset. And now there's going to be pressure on this swing. Thomas now on the mark. Trying to be as active as possible. Looked like she got a hand on it. Utah maintaining possession. Utah really trying to stretch the field left to right to get out of this pressure from Arizona. They're even sending it up and over to see if we can continue to maintain. Utah looking like they're staying alive so far. Tenacious Sidewinders defense. Utah needs this point so badly. Backhand shot, wide open, looking like there was a pick there. Bunderson looking pretty collected back there. Using their height to maintain possession. Throw some stable backhands. And here's Leary with the disc now. After the stoppage of play. Looks like after the observer ruling, she'll hold on to it. Leary with a big moment here. She's going to send a backhand blade. Caught. Dropped. The chance goes begging for Utah Wild. A chance to bring it to 5-8.
Was it a catch by Simeone? We'll have to see later in the clip.
Applegate. High release across the field, across the face of the mark. And she is going to send it upfield to Stetmeyer. Stetmeyer now testing the defense, but would rather dump it for now. Maintain possession. Thomas has it. She's going to send it right into the defender. Pass intended for Pisani. Utah's back on offense. It's going to be tipped. Not quite caught. Both teams having trouble controlling the disc right now in the middle of the second. We've got 6:09 to go. Arizona back on offense. 4-8. Arizona looking to grow their lead right now. Applegate, inside out shot. It's going to be a goal for Madison Spiegel.
Oh, heartbreaker into the point there for Utah. And just no current wind. Just sometimes those discs come down at an awkward angle if we're trying to fit it in. The space is there, so throwers are going to try to hit the player. And we just weren't ready for the... Oh. Tried to catch kind of behind us, maybe expected contact, and Cynthia Thomas's mistake not punished here, but great defense. I think Liz just might have been asked to do a little bit too much over the course of the point. They were handling for a good point of the offense, came up with a huge block on defense, but just not quite enough in the tank.
Spiegel is really making her impression on this game. Has moved to the offensive line, has been a defensive player in the past, had been known for her speed, and now I think we're seeing a whole lot of timing, skill, and patience out of her. We'll keep an eye on her for the rest of this matchup. Arizona's back on defense.
I think, well, the lead for sure, but being the first game of the season, they've got a great opportunity, and they're taking it. The lines seem fairly open where you've got players playing in multiple roles with multiple groups.
Melner looking to apply pressure here. Aragon on the mark. Tipped away. Sidewinders going to be back on offense. 5:30 to go. It's 9-4. Can we make it 10-4? Say the Sidewinders looking to get out of this first half with a comfortable lead. It's going to be a blade to Melner. She's got it. Unbelievable grab.
That's 2 for the triplet. Count it. Post it in the family chat. I don't know if she's going to be insufferable after the game, but she's coming up with big plays. I just would not want to be one of her 2 siblings. Let's see this replay. And I'm a little worried once we get into some stiffer competition or teams that have seen film for Sidewinders, that throw is going to be double covered the rest of the season. We've got players looking downfield, and it was an awesome score, and it's going to be a great kind of learning point going forward. I'll be interested to see if they kind of are a little bit more patient, because we see that with some lines for Arizona, and then other lines we're kind of just putting it up.
Just unbelievable grab by Melner. Sidewinders back on defense. We've got 5:14 to go. Arizona 10, Utah 4. Another short pull going this direction. Utah looking to capitalize. Finnegan Going to center to Gunderson. Going to get sent wide. It's blocked. That's Reed, who's able to get both bookends for Kristen Reed. Welcome to Arizona.
Oh, heroic layout for Bunderson. We can see it a little bit in the body language. They're putting it all out there, but Kristen Reed came to play. She said, New Year's Fest, not enough. I want a little bit of WL success again. I'm going to take my talents to Tempe, to Phoenix, and she's showing out right now.
Yeah, outstanding block, and then running through to be able to just make the offense on the other end just a lot easier. Sidewinders look energized by these last couple of sequences. It's 11-4. We have 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go as we've got a timeout. Let's take another look.
Yeah, it looks like they tried that same skip pass, but this time Reed was prepared for it. And she just off to the races, not stopping play, just reached out and snagged it.
We talked at the beginning of the game about what we were going to see from each team, about what strategy they would take to try to energize their side. Sidewinders look like they're moving it left to right a lot more effectively than the Wild tonight. And again, the pressure coming from the Sidewinders defense looks like it's very effective, it's very physical, and we're seeing a lot of run-through blocks tonight from them.
Yeah, now we're looking just for small victories, really precise victories. Can the Utah coaching staff and the veterans really just focus in on a few key improvements and just improve step by step? They are in no means out of this game. We've seen bigger comebacks in the WUL. However, it's all going to just be about the smaller victories. Can they communicate these kind of fundamental changes that and adjustments that need to be made? Let's see during this point.
Sidewinders back on defense. 11-4, 4:47 to go in the first half. Sidewinders filling the spaces, not matching up right now, looking at least on the first sequence, trying to fill those lanes. Giving Utah a little bit of trouble, but a strike right now to Williams. And they're past the half field mark. Little elevator pass to get the disc back in the middle. And Utah playing catch a little bit. Williams is going to offer deep, and here we are. Great grab by Williams. She touches her toes in there. It's a goal.
Absolutely athletic play. The defense was right there, but the disc was just put up right where she could get it. Utah, time and time again, shown that they are willing to kind of take chances on those 30, 35-yard shots, and let's see it again. That pass, it's something that you're willing to do, just kind of breaks everything else open, makes it a little bit easier. Sunny Harris not quite able to make up the space. She does go up, just a hair too short.
A terrific coverage by Harris to recover, to basically meet the disc exactly where she needed to. But just Williams too good in that instance, and being able to get the toe tap on the right side of the tape. Really impressive, Joel.
Yeah, for those at home, the line is out in Ultimate Frisbee and WL.
Sidewinders on defense, 11-5. 4 minutes, 11 seconds to go.
All right, it's been a little while since they've had to switch to this kind of offensive mindset. Let's see if they keep the patience and are kind of ready to throw early.
Reed, downfield to Spiegel. Both have been excellent in the middle of the field so far tonight. Sending it back in the middle to Chang. Chang able to find Stetmeyer underneath. Now Stetmeyer sending it to the sideline. Jamison. Stetmeyer now scanning the field. Not a lot of options downfield until Chip Chang arrives into that upline space. Applegate. Back to Stetmeyer. Applegate, another high release, inside out. She's got Chang. Chang backhand shot. We've got another goal for the Sidewinders. That's Leah Jamison.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting move that Jamison pulled there. She kind of motioned as if she was clearing after she cut towards the break side to the near side to the backhand side where Chip Chang's defender was trying to stop her from throwing. Right, we see the Utah players trying to stop those backhand throws, but Arizona being willing to throw them. Paige right here with kind of the later throw, but she can hit anybody in any kind of spot. Chip sees it, and Leah says, let me just open up my hips right here and just catch an easy throw.
Yeah, and the last couple sequences have been very interesting to see Chang and Applegate handle together. They've handled together for so long, but to see Chang really go to the backhand and Applegate go to the inside-out shot.
Yeah, you're seeing a willingness to kind of throw to the open throw or the early throw that maybe wasn't there. The difference between Arizona's O-line or offense and Utah's, Arizona is flooding and having one person kind of fill the space. Let's see if Utah can kind of switch things up to get some momentum downfield.
Melner, once again, the first person down applying pressure. Utah looking comfortable in the middle of the field for now, able to play catch. You get the sense they're looking for another deep shot as we're just under 3 minutes in the second quarter. Utah looking to bring the lead down to 6. Back to the middle of the field for the Utah Wild. Upfield shot. It looks really contested. Oh, it's brought in. Some overlap action, and the Utah Wild looked like they're in a great position, knocking on the door of the red zone after evading some tenacious Arizona defense. Back to the middle of the field. Here's Williams. Nice backhand shot to open space, but a little too far compared to what her teammate was looking for.
Oh, yeah, just maybe later in the season you see multiple Wild players kind of pop out right there, but just really nobody. The person with the disc, the thrower, was more than willing to throw, we saw, but no receiver in the area.
Yeah, Eddie Davis offering to try to make that happen, but a little too far. Arizona back on offense. Gazelle back to Harris. Melner. O'Connell. Overlapping routes and playing catch here for the Sidewinders. Really just moving through Utah before they can set up their offense, and O'Connell outruns the offense. With that throw, looking like there was maybe an expected overlapping route or in cut there that just didn't materialize. Pass is broken up, though, by Harris.
Let's see, I think there was a timeout that was called, and I'm going to use this time to kind of highlight a little bit of the kind of not talked about part of the field. I'm going to coin it right here on air, Simeone, if you'll let me. I call it the confluence, the kind of connective tissue between the backfield and the downfield. Right there we saw there really wasn't any downfield. It kind of was backfield movement. It was vertical movement towards the end zone, and Utah's defense just couldn't catch up. And then the only thing stopping Arizona was just a little bit of an errant throw versus kind of an easier right at you throw or a throw to space. The receiver didn't quite know what was happening when the throw went up. Utah, on the other hand, next time we see them, you'll see people either hanging out in that middle space, not quite cutting in towards the disc or away, and that might lead the people with the disc or the players in the backfield to kind of hesitate a little bit. As soon as those players with the discs are hesitating, then the whole offensive flow is thrown off. We're looking at longer stalls or more dangerous throws, so that might be why we're seeing Utah kind of default to some of these deeper shots. It looks like the coach for the Wild did get the timeout off in time, so it doesn't matter that the turnover happened because it didn't. So let's jump back into the action.
Wild now picking up the disc after the timeout. Wild in a vertical stack, trying to get off the sideline here. First cut covered well, swing pass covered well. Williams now able to catch it back on the force side. Upline action strongly contested by the Sidewinders. Utah now in trouble, clock is winding down, throw to space, they've got it. Another deep shot. Broken up by Powell. Jones and Williams for Utah. both had a great look at it, but looks like there might be a call on the play. There was contact.
Yeah, we'll see if the call happened with Powell making the contact, or if there's a little bit of a team defense that happened. 5 is backing up, and looks like 9 might be coming over the top a little bit. I'll be interested to see what the observers come down with. And it looks like they called no foul.
Looked like a terrific block by Powell.
Yeah, she got her hand in there. She went up vertically, did not make contact until after the D happened.
Here's O'Connell operating now in the backfield. Is going to get sent deep. Harris has it. Throw to space to Gazelle. Gazelle trying to run it down. Not quite caught by the Sidewinders. Oh, what a disappointing result of that fast break. Overthrown, another block. It's Harris. Sidewinders now gathering to try to get in red zone offense, but what a scramble as the Sidewinders try to find an open space there, and it's just barely off. No goal. We've got 23 seconds left in the quarter. Utah now on offense.
Both teams left a point at the end of the half. Let's see if either team comes away with a point at the end of this quarter.
Looks like another block for Sonny Harris, who owns this point, picking up the disc now with just under 10 seconds to go. Looks like Arizona will have the last possession of the half as they call a timeout, leading 12-5. Mark, a couple fast break opportunities that haven't been cashed in on this point by the Sidewinders. So much of a good fast break is seeing a space before the other team does, but I think what we're seeing on such a long point is that some of the like finer details of these fast breaks aren't really converting.
Yeah, that's kind of twice on. Was that the same point as the earlier timeout from Utah? Twice in the same point, this Arizona, when they do have the disc, is overthrowing people who are fading away. They're not cutting towards or away. It's a harder throw. It's a harder read. So we're seeing players kind of out of position. Maybe even 3 times if we count that last turn. Utah, from their perspective, I think they're just trying to score. I really would like to see either team come away with a score. A little bit of patience here, but with 6.5 seconds left, I don't have my hopes up.
Arizona Sidewinders now in possession of the disc with 6.5 seconds to go. It will be their half to end. Lining up in a vertical stack. We'll see if this play is able to cut the mustard at last.
And just as a reminder, they have an infinite amount of time. It is until they drop the disc or turn it over after these 6 seconds. The clock on the stadium might be different than the clock on the screen, so just be aware of that.
Time is up. Harris's throw goes a little low, and the Sidewinders come away empty-handed for this point, but they come away very happy with this half, I imagine, with a 7-point lead, 12-5. Arizona Sidewinders lead the visiting Utah Wild.
And let me be clear, it is super early in the season. A lot of these, they're not even nitpicks. It is, if we're going to try to make a push to the playoffs or improve our record from last year, we have to find points wherever we can get it. And right now, neither team is taking advantage of the actual structure of the game. We have 2 quarters in the books, and we have 0 scores at the end of those quarters. Just looking to clean that up kind of immediately.
We mentioned before this game that just 1 point of differential had separated the matchups of these 2 teams playing each other over the past years. This game is considerably more lopsided, but I think we can see some of the tight competition that has characterized this matchup over the years, with both teams playing pretty close on defense, but Sidewinders right now have the edge in execution.
Yeah, and it looks like we have a fan from the stadium. If you could just give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, how's it looking out there? How's the crowd going? Are they enjoying themselves? I'm getting a thumbs up. It looks like the home team, the home crowd is absolutely having a blast. Simeone, what do you expect kind of during this halftime adjustments? Is there much to adjust, kind of coming from a player yourself, or is it just, hey, let's remember who we are here and go out and execute in the second half?
I think both teams will be looking to settle in their own respective ways. I think if you were to interview the coaches afterward, or if we could kind of spy on their huddles right now, both coaches would be talking about execution more than anything else. I think the effort is there and the intensity is there. We can see that on the field right now, but I think both coaches will be preaching execution during this break. And with that, we're going to throw things to the dog show going on right now in the middle of the field. We'll catch you on the other side of the break for the second half.
Take care.
Actually, let's skip that part. Combat Candy is for everyone who trains hard and deserves better than choking down powder. 5 grams of science-backed creatine in a gummy that turns supplement routine into something to look forward to. Just because your workout is serious business doesn't mean your creatine supplement has to be. Combat Candy, making strength frickin' delicious. Try it at combatcandies.com.
Thank you, Gossip and Whitney Fairclough.
And we're back with the second half of the Utah Wild visiting the Arizona Sidewinders for the first game of both of their seasons for the Western Ultimate League season in 2026. Arizona to receive. They'll start the half on offense. Center now to Applegate. Arizona off and running. This is Thomas, who's unabated in the middle of the field. Nearly double team. She's going to skip it out of bounds, looking downfield to attack to Chambliss. Can't make it happen. Utah Wild with a break opportunity.
Okay, now let's see if Utah can kind of come up with a little bit of a trick there. But I'm feeling like they are energized and ready to play. You can see it in their body language.
Wild swinging across the field now. Able to get it to the other side. Inside out shot. Just skipped away. Thunderson not able to catch that one. Outside in. Go into that spot. Tough to corral. Stetmeyer now in the middle of the field. Terrific diving grab. Not able to hold on to it. Chang for Arizona.
Utah working with a short field. This is kind of going to be our best chance to see their end zone set. If they are a new team, do they have enough chemistry in the end zone to trust each other?
Just going to send it up in the air to Williams. No, to Leary.
Utah score by number 20.
Terrific grab by Leary, reading the space there, and Thunderson able to just feather that in just the right space.
And it is a difficult throw, even with no wind, kind of putting this kind of soft inside. A throw where she sees the space right here and just says, let me just sit it up to where you can go get it. Even though Jamison was there to attempt to make a play, that's twice now where the disc has been just where the Utah player can get it. I think it shows great promise kind of for the rest of this game and the season.
An interesting route by Leary there too, bringing the defender under, then slamming on the brakes and just running right downfield for a floating pass. That's going to be another point for the Wild. 6-12, Arizona 10-41 in this new second half.
Yeah, we're going to see right here from Arizona kind of how often they've been able to practice the last couple of weeks and it pay off, because you're going to see kind of some initial movement to open up the inside or the middle of the field, and we'll see if Arizona can string together multiple downfield passes.
Here's Powell to Gazelle. Arizona just moving it downfield now. Stuck on the sideline all of a sudden. Harris able to come to the rescue. And another shot to the same sideline though. Dunn able to get wide open. Dunn's going to send it back across the field. Harris now able to find that sideline again. Arizona able to just move it down that open sideline for the whole sequence. Terrific grab by Lindsay Doyle.
Hitting the deck, excellent grab, taking a moment to collect herself. Goldstein coming in with the double high five. Now, we saw something there just before. We'll see if the replay catches it, if it goes back far enough, that Sunny Harris was not willing to kind of throw that around, but the Sidewinders didn't let it get him. See, the clip just starts where she doesn't throw the around, but Lindsay doesn't let it get her down. She pushes downfield. Sunny follows the play, and then Harris sees it downfield, hits the throw, and a score for the Sidewinders.
Good way to open things up on offense for Winders as we get to under 10 minutes in this second half. Sidewinders on defense. Let's see what the defensive pressure looks like if the Sidewinders are able to sustain all the way into the second half that tight physical defense that they were bringing in the first. Here's Utah. They're looking to move fast, but Sidewinders are right in the lane. Over pursue, opens up a deep shot. Here we are going to Williams against Thomas. It's blocked. Thomas able to come away with a stop, but Williams is going to call a foul. There's contact on the play. We'll see how it's arbitrated.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one. Let's see, the disc goes up. Teams have tried to test Cynthia Thomas before. She establishes position, she goes up. Maybe a little bit of a foul on the second attempt. So if the offensive player thought that they had a second chance on the play after the initial block, and yeah, the observers are upholding it. You saw a very clean block initially for Cynthia Thomas, but it was that kind of fight for the dribble that the contact happened.
Williams to maintain possession here, looking for a dump. Terrific shot. It's a dump for a score. Williams, great assist.
Hachmuth really just taking advantage of it, running straight into the end zone, moving right to the middle, just the throw coming straight to it. Utah, that's twice now out of stoppages that she takes advantage of it, and the team is just off to the races. They're not slow to start. They're ready to start playing Frisbee, and you love to see it. Utah right there, still willing to challenge deep, even when Arizona's defender was in the correct position. She did everything right. She got the initial D. Just sometimes that happens where you get tangled up and the offensive player thinks that they have a chance at the second attempt, and the observers agreed. Where's my home field advantage? I mean, that's what I'm asking about.
Yeah, the Wild have just been able to put themselves in some great situations on these deep shots. I think O'Leary is doing such a great job of applying pressure downfield, and Williams, of course, has been very effective in disrupting the Arizona defense. Utah on defense, trying to get a stop. If they're going to push, they're going to need to make something happen soon. We've got a little under 9 minutes to go in this third quarter as Arizona sends it to Aragon, who's going to do a backhand flip to Dunn. Great timing by Dunn. In the middle of the field, though, that shot is going to get broken up, and Utah is back on offense. Utah with a break opportunity here. We mentioned that if they're going to push, they're going to have to push now to get this game close. And they're content to just lose some yards for now, just to maintain possession. This point is so important. These players that have just gotten a stop have got to find a way to get past Arizona and get a goal, and it's going to be miscommunicated, but Bunderson is able to bring it up off the turf. Utah continues to play offense. Great work by Arizona, pushing Utah back. Utah patiently working with the disc. Overthrown, but caught. Utah lives another day on offense. It doesn't matter on the stat sheet if they're able to score, no matter how incidental some of these possessions have looked. Great work by Utah here, staying patient.
Timeout.
Looks like we have a timeout. There are, in fact, timeouts in the WL. Now, last timeout that the Sidewinders took, they elected to keep their players on the field, and that can do a lot for a player's psyche, show trust from the coach, but they are more than able to, unless I'm wrong, do full switches. And I absolutely could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot in my life, Simeon. I think what we're seeing in that last sequence is sometimes you'll see teams kind of come up with things that you initially thought were turnovers, right? The Sidewinders turnovers where they overthrew the person that they're, or the teammate that they're looking to throw to, and nobody was home, or went out of bounds. Utah's turns, and we can see the substitutions happening kind of in real time. You can tell Kez and the captain and probably Molnar are saying, oh, I like this player better. I want to play with this player. Oh, I like her better. No, it's not that, Simon. They're picking the players that are best and right for this situation. No favoritism here. Now, Utah, on their overthrows, a second Utah player is in position because they're kind of running the same system. They're running through their cuts. Sidewinders defense let up a little bit. You highlighted perfectly that they're playing hard defense, but when they think there's a turn, they're not kind of actively running down the disc. I think it's still first to the disc is going to win it. Let's see who comes up with it.
Utah running hard on this point. It's like they've got 9 players out there catching every tip and staying patient. Can't catch that one. Utah sends that one to the turf. Arizona back on offense. O'Connell's going to send it deep. Looking for Melner. Diving attempt. Can't quite get it. Arizona's going to have to play more defense here.
Absolutely huge bid, just a little bit short. And now let's see if Utah can clean it up. Right look, just wrong throw.
Utah looking to stay aggressive now that they have some opportunities to be ahead of this Arizona defense for a minute. They've been moving backwards for so long on this point, they can finally press their advantage now. Sending it down the sideline is Utah. They've got it. Abby Davis streaking downfield.
Abby Davis with another assist by
Numbers might just be numbers, but there's meaning attached to them now.
Arizona 13, Utah 8.
Going into it. And it might still feel like a huge lead. I don't know. You'll have to tell from body language from this next Arizona offensive point, but certainly from this sequence, when they're putting it all on the line, just coming up a little bit short. And Utah, this is where that YCC, that youth investment pays off. Those players are ready to throw to those interesting spots. They're ready to throw, even if it's not to their first throw. And we're going to see if Utah can kind of ramp up the pressure and really convert with another break, because if we're looking at a 9-13 game, it looks a lot different than 8-14. That's 2 odds versus 2 even numbers, and who knows what's going to happen with that. Arizona, I wonder if they're going to come out with another pull play where they look to clear space.
Utah. Here's the pull. This one's a good one. Pinning Arizona back, but not much hang time on it. Arizona's able to get some yards right away as Applegate and Chang work together. That's Thomas. Arizona looks like they're starting to get moved a little bit over to the force side more consistently. They're not swinging it across the middle of the field as much as they have been. Let's see if they can correct it, or if they're able to get around Utah. This looks like a significant amount of pressure for now. Applegate finding Wan. Now it's Arizona that's patient. Looking methodical here. Nice strike to Spiegel, to Wan. Things are open. Wan's going to send it to Thomas. Thomas running it down. It's a goal.
Not waiting for the highlight reel on that. She said, let me just finish this point. Running it down. She had a choice, and she made the choice to score. Could she have slowed down to lay out? She could have, but she said, let's get another point. Let's put a buffer on there. Let's go even score. Madison filling in that space for that big gainer. You saw a little bit of Arizona struggles where I wonder if other teams are going to take advantage of them on defense. That 20-ish yards is a long it's a long stretch to not have anybody cutting.
One thing I'll point out is that, when Arizona was crowded over on that backhand side, I had thought that for a second there that the Wild were forcing backhand, but it looked like Arizona was actually trying to apply as much pressure as possible to that backhand side before finally sending it across. I might have misread the defense, but interesting to see so much work on that backhand side before finally springing things open on the force side. You notice it became a track meet by the time things got going. Arizona now on defense, 14-8, 5:38 to go in the third quarter here in Tempe, Arizona, as conditions are cooling off. Wind hasn't gotten significantly better as Lippincott comes up with a block. We've got a call. That's Jones, who isn't very happy with how that went down. We'll see how the arbitration works with the observer.
Yeah, that's 5-on-5 crime, Simeone. Now, the observer is going to check and see how the players feel. If the offensive player felt like Lippincott was coming in and making a dangerous play, so that means she felt like she had to change the way that she was laying out, or she had to stop reaching for it because the defender came into her space, that is justifiable.
We'll see what the ruling looks like, and It looks like the offense will keep the disc. Terrific play by Lippincott, just a little bit of a close spacing there. Utah now working it up the open side. Sidewinders trying to stop the momentum, and it looks like for now they will. Great diving attempt by Gazelle. Arizona looking for another block. Almost had it, and they've got it again. That is Liv Chambliss. Running downfield, they're going to test the defense. Can Chambliss run it down? It's hanging for a minute against Williams. Can't quite get it. That's Goldstein, forgive me. Great run by Goldstein. But hung just a little too long to be able to make that happen, Mark.
Yeah, and it looks like Utah is looking to push the pace immediately. Let's see if they can get a second cut or if the thrower has to wait. Hands up immediately. The team is not pushing downfield, and here it comes.
Arizona looking to defend this deep shot. It's Grott. Terrific grab by Kratzer. Questionable contact. We'll see as the players work it out. Not sure if somebody started moving first or there was any contact.
Oh, yeah. And during this replay, we're going to see that Utah did punch it in. Lippincott out of position because she thought there was a foul. Oh, and it looks like they're talking about it now.
Yeah, terrific grab by Kratzner. Kind of in between two Arizona defenders who are covering that pass. The players will work it out.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Sidewinders didn't come out of the first half saying, we're going to challenge Utah to kind of make more plays underneath. They still are going, hey, I'm going to help. We're going to have another player come off of their matchup and help from the other side, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to always be the closest to the end zone. Let's see if Utah can punch it in.
Contested foul here. I believe it was on the mark. And we're back. Utah now trying to make it 9-14, 3:43 to go in the third. Utah once again moving backwards. Great catch by Kratzner, her second of this point. Utah now trying to find any weak spot. It's low to the ground. It can't quite get there. Trying to get it past Aragon, but it's too fast and it's too low.
Yeah, Utah's going to look at the tape and just be inches away on some of these scores to a completely different game. And let's see what LP can kind of do with it. And the Sidewinders offense, it looks like they're rolling now.
Here's O'Connell. Gazelle. O'Connell again, scanning downfield, sending it. Goldstein, Lippincott, Kratzner. Goldstein's got it. Goldstein flipping to Lippincott, and we've got a goal. 15-8, Sidewinders goal.
If anybody has some editing skills out there, let's get these two clips to Lippincott twice on offense and defense. She thought that there was a score, put her hands up, and then was surprised. This time, though, the score is for Arizona. Utah is definitely going to want this back. Caroline getting a second shot at it. A little bit more separation here. And Alex Goldstein being able to just a nice chip shot, a perfect short game, right for the score.
A decisive lead now, 15-8 with 2:55 to go. Arizona with the lead. Mark, what does Arizona want to accomplish now as they take the field? Does their strategy change as they enter the last part of this quarter and into the fourth with a 7-point lead?
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to be working on getting other people into the rotation, or if Travis is going to kind of make some adjustments looking into the future. So what we felt the first couple points during the third quarter was Utah making that run. But Arizona perfectly stymied it. They stood resolute, and let's see if Utah can kind of cut into the lead.
Anderson reading the defense, sending it out wide, trying to get it around the defense, but it's a little too wide. Arizona will start with the disc on a short field, looking for another break. Applegate sending it downfield into the end zone. Jamison, their second goal of the night.
Jamison's probably one of the hardest workers, and I think that's a score from
Doubles up on Utah.
Megan Kirchard, which we haven't seen much from, and it looks like the team's pumped up for both of them. Jameson has been putting in a ton of work, a true local story, practice player, to rostered to a mainstay on both sides of the disc, and the hard work's paying off with the score there.
Carcart, great assists, great placement. The defense was certainly tight. Arizona back on defense. This is LP Aragon to Paul.
Yeah, what is that? We see offensive player of one of the weeks last year, Melissa Dunn, out there playing defense. Really, everybody is doing everything tonight. I wonder if they're fighting for their roles to kind of shake out, or if the coaching staff really believes in every player playing every position.
Sidewinders to apply defensive pressure. And who else but Maya Melner first on the cover. Utah now working backwards. Most of the downfield stuff is covered, but sprung free here, able to get past Harris. And now Arizona on the back foot and a slashing throw into the end zone. Tipped, caught, dropped. Bell can't quite keep her hands on it. As Williams and Bell converged on that shot, they got ahead of the Arizona defense, but they couldn't get the stop. Now Arizona's back on offense. Aragon to Lippincott. Lippincott will send it. Here's Reed. Back on the break side. In control here, able to bring that one in. Harris looking for an option here as the clock is getting high. She's just going to send it into the end zone, but Powell can grab it with a running drag. There's the stall call. It's going back. Terrific grab by Powell there, who was kind of dragging her feet. And that was Mel. Terrible eyes by the play-by-play commentator. As Dunn made an incredible catch, but is called back. Stall is upheld by the observers. Utah now looking dangerous, sending it downfield. It's intercepted by Harris pass intended for Kratzner. Arizona going to send it up deep, and there's not a lot to look at in terms of clean offense on this point. It's back to Utah. Utah now operating on the break side. This is Kratzner sending it backwards again. Sidewinders applying pressure. Back to the open side here. Reed on the cover. Nice work in the open field space as the Utah is going to send it to Williams. Williams can't quite get it, but McClurkin's able to grab it. And there's a call. We've got a stoppage.
Hello, Simeone. I wonder what the observer is going to come up with this. However, both teams are out there slinging. However, you see Utah's youth coming through the YCC system. The throws that they're able to put into space, once they come up with a little bit more experience, that they're going to be a dangerous team. They're going to be scoring a lot of points.
Timeout, Arizona.
It looks like the call was upheld. There was a foul in the play. Arizona starts with a disc, and they call the timeout. Let's see if both teams get a set of fresh 7. We'll see what Coach Travis Dunn says. Simeone, do you notice on long points that you're on the field versus when you're not on the field? The perception, if you're on the field, you're trying your best. If you're not on the field, it feels like every choice, there could have been a better choice. What do you think the players are going through kind of during these long points? And do you think there's kind of really any adjustments to make until the point's over?
I think in this instance, if we're reading the room, both teams really want this point to be over as quickly as possible. But also, both teams are starting to feel more aggressive, and they want to send it deep. They're seeing their teammates get open, and they're seeing their teammates be effective in these deep spaces. I think you saw a lot of conservative play towards the beginning of the game, and I think both teams now seeing some of these deep shots drop are looking to cash in again.
Yeah, that's where you see some of these deep throws from the more experienced throwers or other teams. It seems to just hang up until the cutter can run onto it. Now let's see if Arizona adjusts, and it looks like we're slinging it still.
Aragon to Reed. Reed's got it with two hands. Reed in a great position now, finding Melner with an outlet pass. Melner's going to send it backhand to Reed. It's a foot race. Can they get there? Reed's got it. What a goal!
Reed said, "Here, let me show you Arizona how to do it. Let me just catch contested catch after contested catch." Lippincott pulled 3 defenders as she went, which let Reed kind of work the 2-person game with Muehlner. And the really just showing that sometimes all you need to win is players who make plays. So absolutely huge pickup, just paying dividends immediately. Let's see the replay here shortly. And she says, nope, I'll take the more conservative shot and then just run and get it again. Gunderson has been everywhere tonight, just slightly not there. They're going to be a player to watch, not even by the end of the season. They're absolutely going to be a rock star on this Utah team. They're playing great on both sides of the field, just inches away from catches and from Ds.
Arizona with 23 and a half seconds to go in the third. They will pull. This is Chang. Arizona looking for a quick turn here.
On this defensive line for Arizona tend to pull off, help, and poach more, so we'll see if Utah can get a deep shot or if they can work it underneath.
Utah working their dump set. Pressure from Arizona. Able to find an open look and a terrific grab towards the sideline for Utah. Time has expired for the third quarter. This will be the last possession as Utah tries to claw their way back. It's 8:17 right now at the end of the third. Arizona just putting so much pressure, having to force a throw like that. It's errant. It's going to skip onto the turf, and that is the end of the third quarter. Arizona 17, Utah 8.
Statistics fans out there, I don't know if you're keeping track, that is 3 quarters and 3 points left on the board. That time, both teams did not have a chance at it. Utah had the chance to take as long as they needed. I don't know if their flights were tonight or tomorrow morning, but they could have held possession of the disc. But unfortunately, you saw kind of nothing happening downfield, nothing happening backfield. So the thrower, again for Utah, making a throw into a tough spot, just not able to come up with it.
Yeah, and again, that Arizona defense, there are times when the Wild are able to find an open look or gain momentum, and you can see they've got 2 or 3 passes in a row where they look like they finally outrun the Arizona defense. When the Arizona defense is able to set in and start really applying pressure, the Wild are really struggling to do anything but dump it behind and try to swing.
Yeah, you can tell from just the smiles and the solidarity on one side that both teams, let's not get it twisted. There are things that both teams need to work on. However, Utah is coming into this fourth quarter from a position of, let's clean up some of our mistakes. Arizona, I wonder if they're going to come into this quarter with, let's open up the playbook a little bit, let's see who's got what, when really you can use this as a springboard to say, we're really going to nail down some of our mistakes too. So it'll be interesting to see if both teams come out a little loose, if they are tight. What do you think? Are we going to get a first quarter, second quarter, third quarter? Or are both teams going to surprise us here? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it feels like the Sidewinders are, you could tell in the middle of the third quarter, really kind of recommitted to swinging the disc more aggressively. And I think with the Wild, you're basically looking at trying to get some of their dump swing action off. That it looks like Arizona's timing that so well. I'm not sure if there's really any coaching points you can make at this point that are going to result in an 11-point run in the fourth right now. We'll see what they try for. If I had to place my bets, I would say trying to test Arizona deep. That's the probably most vulnerable they've looked as a defensive unit, is springing a deep runner and trying to get a fast break off an away pass.
Yeah, you're going to see right here with Utah, if they do run some kind of action or movement or play off of the pole, that might speak to kind of a change in direction. Or if they're just kind of going through an offensive flow. So they're not clearing space in particular, they're not trying to get anybody started. So maybe they just haven't found that kind of rock star initiating cutter yet that some teams have.
Utah now trying to operate. Nice pass into the middle. Able to spring things open. Looks like Utah is able now to go through Bell. And then Hockmuth. Bell again. Working so well in the middle of the field, which is now wide open. Is very uncharacteristic of tonight. Flipping it out to the break side, and it's a goal.
Another score, number 14, Captain Abby Davis.
And that's McClurkin to Davis. Great break throw by McClurkin.
And so this quarter could have gone any direction. However, you'll see right here, it looks classic, it's clinical, it's their offensive set, the handler coming back, swinging it, getting that horizontal momentum, and then just hitting the break. Marks right there in the end zone, what other teams will do is they will stay really far around later in the stall versus what happened right there. Lippincott came around and stopped the initial around, but didn't stop the second attempt in a round. No fault, it was a great throw, but the downfield defenders are playing on that open side, and Utah took advantage of it. They were able to hit a later, floatier throw. Utah, the biggest highlight for me this game, and I can't wait to see it the rest of this quarter, their throws are excellent in the spaces that they see, and they're taking advantage of it.
Klatzner with the assist on that last one, and Bunderson with the pull here. Arizona on offense, 17-8, 11 to go, the fourth and final quarter of the home opener for the Arizona Sidewinders in 2026. This is Janet Wan. She is going to dump it to Applegate. Applegate backhand throw to Chip Chang. Threatening the backhand again is Chang. To Applegate. Applegate, backhand shot. Pisani. Spiegel got it. What a goal. Great run by Madison Spiegel, and what a feathery throw by Paige Applegate, who we're used to seeing a lot of inside-out shots from, but that was a terrific backhand in a mild but significant wind.
Yeah, if you give Applegate, look at her. The throw, she came back around. Number 20 is playing excellent defense. But we don't fully come around the second time. We're a little bit late on the flat because of the two-person action, and then all you need is a little bit of space. The release so quick from Applegate, and Arizona's off to the races. I think if you run the tape back, if you're really kind of breaking it down, Utah's momentum, player to player, when they get into it, it's hard to beat. They're going to be able to play offensively with anybody. Arizona, if they feel a little bit of pressure, it might be tough for them. But on teams that give them enough of a window, they are. It looks like, again, we're a team willing to throw deep.
Aragon with a pull. Utah down 9. 10.5 to go. Middle of the field is open. This sideline is open. Utah just marching down the field, wide open space. It's going to be a goal for Davis.
And that's exactly what I'm highlighting. If the Sidewinders think that they can get away with playing into lanes, Utah is especially good. They're willing to throw it lefty. righty. They're willing to throw it backhand, forehand, soft inside outs. Every throw, they are confident, and every player has a green light to turn upfield. They see a space, and they're going to throw it into the space. Did a couple of the early points get away with them catch-wise? Yeah, and unfortunately we can't get that back. But right here, if they're moving, their whole team is moving, and they're willing to throw with the throw. Great adjustment here, but as soon as they see space, they're putting it there. It's incredibly tough for defenses to stop once they get rolling. Let's see if they can kind of get a break here to keep that vertical momentum.
Yeah, McClurkin, terrific read to kind of get her body around and stay on the right side of the sideline there. As Utah pulls, they're going to try to generate some sort of pressure to try to get a stop. No hang time, though, on that pull, so Applegate's got it in great position right away to Stetmeyer. Stetmeyer, Pisani. Applegate. Just going to skip it across the field. That's Kirkhart to Chang. Chang back to Applegate. Applegate. Wide open throw to Stetmeyer. Sidewinders punishing the open side on this one. It's going to be a swing across the field to Chang. Jameson with a cut to the upline space, and Chang is able to grab that leading pass. Red zone area now for the Sidewinders. Back to Applegate. Applegate looking for something on the backhand side. Doesn't want to stay on this sideline. Looking for an opportunity, and that hammer's going to get her there. It's Pisani. She's got a goal. Great. Terrific cut by Pisani. Sidewinders with another goal.
Yeah, you see an excellent, precise throw from Applegate, positioning from Pisani. However, what I'm talking about with the confluence, it's going to catch on, Simeone, because what happens when someone doesn't throw it around? Later, and you saw it right there, even out of frame, earlier in the game, you saw people running into frame on the backhand side to offer. This late in the game, and maybe even into the season, if the Sidewinders don't throw those arounds, cutters stop cutting full speed for them, then they really don't get thrown the arounds, then they just stop throwing. I think if we played it back even a little bit before, multiple cuts just might have been jogs, might have just not even come up because the throws aren't coming up. A little bit of chicken and the chicken situation here. Neither player wants to fully commit. The timing and the communication is off. And luckily, Applegate was able to come away with a big throw and a big catch, but I hope it doesn't come back to snakebite them later in the season.
Sidewinders on defense. 19-10, 9 to go in the fourth. Utah in good field position already. Sent deep for Utah. It's Williams. Great body control. Two-handed catch. It's a goal. 19-10, Utah. 19-11, Utah is able to shrink the lead back to 8. 8:48 to go in the fourth.
There is still plenty of time. In a league where every point matters, Utah is going to try to fight for every point. In a league where every point matters, the Sidewinders are going to try to fight for every point. We see here again the mark not fully coming over with their bodies to stop the throw. These throwers these days only need a little bit of space, and I think she's won that matchup more than not to me.
Yeah, Williams with great stacking on that deep route, able to keep Doyle out of the area so that she can't make a play. And as you mentioned, Mark, championship weekend is often decided by point differential. With only half a dozen games in the regular season, point differential is so meaningful. Utah doesn't want to come out of here -8, even if they can't come away with a win.
Yeah, let's see. And if this is a short point, I'd love to get a replay of this. We're going to see a team that is showing that this is their second year with these players. They're running sets. Utah finally making an adjustment so that there wasn't an easy initiating throw. Let's see how Arizona responds.
Sidewinders working towards the middle of the field now. That's Stetmeyer feeding now to Chambliss. Over on the break side, going to be a forehand shot to Wan in the middle. Wan's going to send it long downfield. Kirkhart looking for Applegate. Applegate just in the nick of time, but a stall's been called. We'll see if the throw went off in time.
Yeah, it's a 7-second stall, and it's a player counted stall. So sometimes it might feel pretty quick down in the field. Let's see what the observers say. He's saying there was a contested stall, and it's going to come back. So Sidewinders will retain the disc, just with even less time to throw. Let's see if she looks to Chip Chang in her reset, or if she stays with Applegate.
Sidewinders need to dump right away. Chang delivers. Chang crowded on this sideline, needs to get off. Time winding down. Timeout called.
A rare player called timeout, and Coach Dunn right there giving the high five, congratulating the player. If I'm a veteran move. Now, do they come out of here with a set? Do they just run their regular offense? I'll be interested to see later in this game as it's gone on. Utah has adjusted with their marks. They found their footing on defense. They're ready. They're kind of not surprised. They're not playing back, and it's stymied the Sidewinders a little bit. I wonder if they come out of this throwing the arounds, or let's look. If we see the arounds not come up, let's also look to see if downfield, kind of on the close side to us, if the cutters are actually full speed cutting. So which one is it? Is it the cutters not fully cutting that the thrower doesn't want to throw to? Or is it the throwers not throwing that the cutters don't want to go full speed? I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens just as the Sidewinders come out of this timeout. To the point that every point matters. With an 8-point lead, the Sidewinders are still taking a timeout to draw up a play with 7:22 to go in the fourth quarter. Every score is going to count here. Applegate to start off.
Yeah, just for the sake of the rivalry, let's get a close game. Let's get a contentious game. Let's get some stir going on. But I'm interested to see how Utah plays this. It looks like they're putting an extra defender away from their matchup and in the lane.
That's Bunderson camping in the lane, taxiing Chang. Hammer throw to Kirkhart, who's able to bring it down.
Excellent throw, excellent catch, but that's twice, or maybe even 3 times now that we've seen an opposing team correctly identify what Arizona wants to do. Arizona not being able to kind of break through traditionally and relying on throws over the top. If this throw comes up in the Bay or San Diego or LA where it's windier, is that a clean hammer? Is it a for sure score? Love the score, excited for the players, but I'm just thinking long term here.
Quick thinking by Applegate results in another hammer score for the Sidewinders. 20-11, 7:16 to go in the fourth. Arizona back on defense.
All right, it looks like the body language on both sides is pretty good. Everybody's trying their best. We're improving with every point, it looks like. This is an out-of-conference game from both teams, and it looks like they're improving every point. It looks like every point matters.
Here's Aragon with the pull. Good distance and hang time. Can the defense catch up to apply pressure in time? McClurkin's able to send it upfield. Wild working with reasonable field position right off the pull. And able to get right behind the defense. Davis now in a great spot as she's got teammates streaking and now can just read the end zone, pitching into the end zone to Williams. It's a goal. Utah with 12 points now with 6:51 to go.
Oh, it looks like there was a little bit of a call. If I'm reading the hand signals correctly and checking my inbox, it was a travel, so she'll just tap the disc and restart.
Utah working the disc in the red zone now after a travel call. Swing to McClurkin. McClurkin patient and able to find her teammate Eva Bell streaking into that inside seam.
Every celebration of every point, you love to see it. You love to see the sports personship. The absolute gall to throw that throw. I didn't know who it was to. Oh, if we could, replay before the score that Huck just step for step right where the offense needed to go, and I think it surprised everybody. You'll see that Utah with their youth is getting a little bit. Sorry, I'm just getting over a little bit of a cough. Is getting a little bit stymied when there's not vertical movement. But as soon as they get that first throw towards the end zone, where the rest of their team, it's almost like Bay Area a little bit, where they get the throw towards the end zone, their throws and their positioning and their readiness is willing to just work the movement. Yeah, here we go. This throw is absolutely huge. Out of the frame. Nobody's expecting it. Quick turn, and they're off to the races.
Arizona on offense. 6:31 to go. It's 2012 Arizona advantage. First home game for the Arizona Sidewinders. Hassani, great cut into the middle space. Applegate able to get it off, and then to Thomas. That's Bassani. Stetmeyer working underneath and then flipping to Applegate, who looks like she's in a great position right now to send it back to Stetmeyer. It's an Arizona goal.
Stetmeyer says, "Thank you, may I have another?" Sprinting into the end zone. That's a few times on both teams now where the player who throws the disc, as soon as they throw it, they are on their toes. They're sprinting. Let's see if the defense can react or if they're a step behind. They're out of frame, but already steps. They called for a switch, but everybody on Utah is playing match up. They're playing tight to their assignment in the end zone, so they weren't willing to switch. Other teams with some more experienced players might effectively switch right there. That throw may or might not be there later in the season for Arizona.
Always dangerous to see Applegate catching the disc with momentum. Stetmeyer making sure that there was an open throw in the end zone. Arizona back on defense. Pull is short. Utah in position already. Give and go action with McClurkin and Bell. To Williams. Utah making good progress down the field now. Their cutters look wide open through these sequences. Arizona finally able to stop some momentum. Arizona looking like a zone look here. But Utah finding the holes. And this give and go action is going to break the zone. Arizona, we'll see if they get out of that zone now that they're up and over it. This is a dangerous situation for Arizona. Yes, wide open to the open cone. Terrific diving grab. J.C. Jones, toe drag, front cone. Great point.
Yeah, she played for Onyx previously, and she's showing up big for Utah now. That experience to know where the edge of the end zone is. And again, these throws, Arizona went zone, or at least a little bit of a junk switchy look to kind of slow down Utah's offense. Because let's be clear, there might be a big lead, but there's also a big score for both teams. Last year, both teams might not have gotten to 13. We're scoring tonight. It's just a little bit of execution. Excellent catch there. Excellent job. And I think after maybe a couple of drops go a different way, we're looking at a much closer game.
Arizona on offense. Wild looking to shrink this deficit in any way that they can. They're down 8. A short pull, and it's on the turf. Arizona with good field position, but there's pressure immediately by the Wild. Filling the lanes there on a zone look for themselves. And now things seem to be tightening down to more matchup defense. This is Chang. Backhand shot to Wan. Wan able to bring it back to Thomas. Thomas is just going to send up a blade. Kirkhart, can she get it? Not quite.
Oh, not quite. Oh, and it looks like a fast start from Utah. Let's see if they can get into some vertical momentum.
Utah sending it wide. You've got Arizona defenders in the lane. Wen able to stop both the downfield throw and match her person. And it's a stall call. That was great defense by Wen. Normally, there's been pretty tight matchups by Arizona, at least to my eye. Wen taking a second to crowd the lane and then recovering just in time.
Observer overrules.
No stall this time, but still solid pressure from Arizona. Utah to pick up. Able to get it back to the middle of the field now. Utah out in open space. Outrunning the defense of Arizona now is Utah. Sending it deep to Williams. Great shot by Leahy. Madsen with the goal. Terrific running.
If I'm looking at this game again tomorrow, Monday, later this week, I am ecstatic if I'm Utah's coaches. Look at this momentum. As soon as they get it, they're always ready to throw. The fundamentals are there. The mechanics are there. They just need a couple steps. Helen Eifert's not suited up for tonight, and I wonder if that might be a place where she maybe comes up with a huge layout like we've seen in the past. Spiegel gets those excellent run-through Ds, but you can't get mad at the dinger. The throw just past the defense, Spiegel was in the correct spot, just a better throw and a better catch.
Great offensive showing by Utah. They shrink the lead to 7, 14-21. Arizona advantage 21-14. Here is Arizona. That's Harris to Powell. Arizona in good field position already. As that's 2 cuts in a row, streaking across the field wide open. Doyle to O'Connell. O'Connell's got wide open people in the middle of the field. Goldstein diving grab. There's a stoppage.
It looks like a pick. So players, if a defender is on their assignment, their matchup, and they have to change the way that they move even a little bit because of a third person or another player, they can call that pick. Not illegal like it is in other sports. And let's see if the observers uphold it. And it looks like the observers are signaling that there's a contested call. Typically this will come back, right? Spirit of the game might be an ancient concept at this point, but it relies on the players having the best interest of the rules and sportspersonship in their minds. And everybody's making a good faith effort. They just couldn't come to a conclusion, so they just came back, and we're going to have a redo.
Doyle now, as the action continues. O'Connell wide open now. Great cut by her. O'Connell ripping it across the field to Doyle again. Arizona losing yards to gain yards. That's Harris. Terrific cut on that side. Blade shot. Oh, what a grab by Dunn!
Yes, it was mostly done this time. She came up big, showing the experience, reading the disc. The Utah defenders were right there to make a play, just, again, inches away. Arizona came out now a couple times in a row with just enough to get this score after a couple of breaks. Oh, yeah. And it looks like the adjustments you were saying, you kind of pegged it perfectly. There's not too much to happen quarter to quarter, half to half. It's really just all about execution and confidence. Both teams looking incredibly confident. Now, as we get closer to the 2-minute warning and the end of the game, we are 0 for 3 on scores at the end of the game. Please, Simeone, this is all I've asked for all tonight. If one of these two teams can come away with a score at the end of this quarter.
As someone with no ability to deliver on that, I'm sorry. Utah now on offense. Great position already. The pole did not hang nearly long enough to allow Arizona to get into position. Utah's back ahead of the defense. Another shot. It's going to go up. It looks like it's going to hang. It's going to be a committee meeting in the end zone. It's knocked down. Terrific stop by Spiegel. Chambliss looking for a dump option. Jamison, time running out in this stall count. She's just going to send it downfield to Wan. Can she come up with it? Great grab in open traffic there. To Pisani. To Wan. Sidewinders find a dump in the middle of the field now, and that leads to a great strike, but Kirkhart can't come up with that one, and Utah's back on offense.
Yeah, and it looks like Utah, instead of everybody kind of being on the same page with vertical momentum, gave a little bit of space, but now they're rolling. Now they're back into it.
Deep shot. Going deep to the ground. Kratzner wide open, but that shot looped right behind her.
Yeah, it's been a full game. Let's see if either team can kind of clean it up or if we're just going to keep slinging like we've seen a couple times this game.
From here, it looked like it was going to lay right into Kratzner's hands, but then let's say the wind took it. Wan able to grab that, just streaking right behind the defense. Spiegel and Wan working together here, knocking on the door of the red zone. As Utah looks to try to find their matchups, they need to find somebody quickly. Chang, what a grab!
Chip Chang said, Cynthia Thomas, here's how you do it. I'm going to lay out for the highlight reel. We're going to post something to our social media later this week. I'm going to make sure that I am the cover for it. An excellent catch. It was a quick throw. She needed to get there on time. She decided, hey, I'm going to put my body on the line to make sure that my hands can do what they need to do to catch this throw. Janet Wan, she's had a couple of throws late or earlier in the stall. They've been quick. They've been on target. Really impressed by kind of her decision making. You'll notice the difference between the two teams kind of in their foundation. Arizona, if you run that last point back, if you're watching film, they are faking to almost no one. They're not faking to move players out of the space or into the space. They're not faking to move the defense for an easier throw. Whereas Utah, on a lot of these quicker scores or more momentum that they get during their points, they're not faking. They're catching it. They're ready to throw, and they have the throws. That last turn by them, if you're going to trust everybody, you got to trust everybody. And Spiegel came up with the stop.
Aragon pull out of bounds. Arizona to set up on defense. It's 23-14 with just 35 seconds to go in this fourth quarter.
Could be a little bit of the fireworks that I see coming off the other side. Might have just gotten a little bit distracted.
Thunderson. High breakside shot. 30 seconds to go in the fourth. 23-14. Arizona looking to close out their first home game of the 2026 season. And they come up with a final block and preserve a 9-point advantage to take out of the weekend. Utah, who's looked strong in bursts, really testing the deep space, demonstrating a lot of patience in moving the disc backwards once again. We are expired for time. This is the last possession of the game.
They have as long as they need. They've been patient up until now. Please, let's just see a score.
Utah. Inside out shot. Working very effectively here. Until
Simeone, I didn't see the last point. I was checking my emails. Did they score?
Arizona wins 23-14. Time expires. Utah can't quite get the final goal. Mark Borger's hopes are dashed. Arizona comes away with an impressive win. Mark, you called attention to some technical execution issues, to some decision making, but let's pay attention for a second about what Arizona did so well to get the most decisive win they've had on the Utah Wild in the history of both teams.
I think it speaks to a couple of the hiccups that they had. A couple of their systems are looking pretty good. You can tell that they've been practicing almost every weekend for the past month and a half. You can tell that people and players really believe kind of in their system, and they trusted it early and often. You combine that with execution that was cleaned up from last year, and they're looking like a pretty strong team. Are there places in their play and their decisions that can be taken advantage of by teams that will score if there's a turnover? Yeah, we're looking at a lot closer game if Utah converts on some of these longer points with multiple turns. Now, for Utah's side of things, I am so excited to watch their games. They're an electric team. Both teams played awesome, made big plays. Utah's youth, their fundamentals really showed through. They were throwing to players who only had steps, but you had to make the throw to get it to them. And if it's just a little bit more, this is a closer game. If we ran it back, I'm not sure who would win or who would lose, and that's what you want in a rivalry. Two close teams competing for the entire time. The Sidewinders are going to look to build on the success in their next game, and Utah, I think, does not quite have as much to go or as much to kind of fix or improve that they think they do. I'd be proud if I was either team at the end of this game.
Some really interesting decisions, I think, made from the point of view of some of these deep shots. A lot of them cashed in. I think we expected a bit of this tonight with the conditions being so favorable to very aggressive play with away passes. And Arizona, as you mentioned at the beginning of the game, really well known for a sort of high-flying, aggressive, deep space pressure in their offense. We got to see some of that tonight. And we certainly got to see a lot of that from Utah, who I thought did a very good job of pressuring Arizona and forcing them out of their very aggressive undercuts, or their coverage of those undercuts. And with that, let's take a look at the Discraft play of the game.
Yeah, it looks like Jenna Wan sees Chip Chen going upfield, and she hits it. A tough throw, a tougher catch, and she comes up big. We just missed it. The Twins got a little picture at the end of the game, so no bad blood in the family. Everybody's still invited to the next holiday. And I think we're going to do an on-field interview. And so we're just waiting for that to come through. Simeone, what would you say as you think back, maybe the next couple of days, that really stood out for this game? And I guess what would you look to improve on?
For me, and I mentioned this before, I think the most impressive things the Sidewinders did was apply a bunch of early defensive pressure. They denied those undercuts very aggressively and made Utah very uncomfortable on offense. And I think Utah counterpunched eventually by looking to stretch the field deep, by sending more people deep. You saw Williams be very effective in those deep spaces. You saw Madsen get open deep a couple times. You saw Kratzer also apply pressure. And I also think that there's some terrific work being done by Leary, number 20, for Utah in trying to really adjust to that pressure in Arizona and stretch things deep a little bit. But in the end, I think Arizona gained way too many points for Utah to overcome with their aggressive defensive strategy. So I think that's the biggest bright spot for me watching this game, is that Arizona's defense looked to be very aggressive and put them in a much better position than we've seen in a lot of games that Arizona has opened with at the beginning of their season.
Good news for Arizona. For the first time in a while, it's not just execution that they need to improve. They can improve a little bit of the timing, the strengthening from the backfield and the deep field. And it looks like we do have a player kind of being corralled towards a post-game interview. Or if there's not, we'll definitely put both the Twins interview that we had earlier before the game and this one on some kind of social media. Simeone, this has been a blast. Thanks for kind of watching the game and experiencing it with me.
Yeah, this has been a terrific home opener for Arizona Sidewinders. This has been a really intriguing matchup between two teams. And we thank everybody who's joined us on the stream tonight for this game. Thank you for tuning in to the WL. Signing off for Mark Borger, I'm Michael Simeone in Tempe, Arizona. Thanks and good night.